break down between the idea, like, look, a lot of our audience is VC-backed fundraise companies, but also there's agencies or small businesses. How do you think through the pros and cons of each of those sort of mindsets, right? If you're like, hey, I'm building a VC-backed company, go really quick, but burn a lot of cash, maybe an agency where it's like, hey, like this could be a lifestyle business, or am I growing it for something that's really big? Or maybe a small business that is like, hey, I'm just trying to build like a good company that, I like to bake, so I can bake some good pies.
A business doesn't survive or die based on a good idea. It all comes down to momentum, right? And so it's like building a campfire. Little fire is fragile, blows out quickly, but all of a sudden you get like a big fire, like what went out in California. You pour water on it all over the place and you just can't control it, right? And so different companies have different levels of, they're just some are more fragile than others. And so we look for, actions plus resources equal goal. What are the resources available to us? How do we add momentum as much as possible to build robustness into the organization so that they can continue to grow and thrive? A lot of that does also come back down to data.
Mm-hmm. So just generally, it doesn't matter what company and industry you're in. It's just like, get the data, watch the data, track it. How do you, are there any pieces you recommend to people as a founder to get good at that, like to build a muscle around the data? So, a lot of founders start their business because they're world-class at AI, or they're a world-class chef, or they're a world-class, whatever it is, right? They don't do it because they're world-class at data. In fact, that's probably a skill set that's tough for them.
Perfect example. Another client this morning, got on the phone with her. When we started working together, she was only doing $250,000 a year. She loves what she did. She went to school for what she does. She loves what she does the whole day. She's super good and she's excellent at it, right? Now she makes $250,000 every 3 weeks. And why she was able to do that is because I said, we have to move you out of being in the business as the practitioner to now thinking like a CEO. And so that actually means that she does very little of what she did when she was $250,000 a year. Like she was working in the business. She was working directly with clients. Now she does very little of that, right? And so in order to do that, there's a difference between line of sight. Like, Adam, when your business was tiny, you had direct line of sight. You knew everything about every person that works with you. You knew everything about every client. You knew everything about every vendor, everything. You knew everything. You had direct line of sight. Now that you've grown the successful organization, now you start losing line of sight. Now you may not know every team member as intimately as you did before. Now you likely don't know all the customers and all that other stuff. And so if you don't have line of sight, that's where things they get dangerous, and you get a lot of variability, and your business is a lot more fragile than when you have that line of sight. And so that line of sight has to be systems, processes, data to make sure all that is being followed. And data in the beginning isn't sexy, and people, their eyes get glossed over. They don't want to do it. They just want more leads. They just want more sales. They want all that stuff. Until you realize, wait a minute, knowing this number actually helps me make more money, actually brings me more leads, and I do this a lot easier and faster without any guesswork, then all of a sudden people obsess over data. They love it because it's like they know what lever to pull and push. Like that woman I talked about this morning was doing $250,000 a year. Now, $250,000 every 3 weeks. And she was like, okay, what do I need to do? Actually, I'd like to bring in a little bit more money here. I said, the cool thing is you've got the data. We're just going to put 10% more budget right here and you'll get it. You have room. And she's like, oh, it's that easy? Yeah. Let's just put 10% more on this ad budget, a budget right here, because you already have it, and you'll be all set. And done. You know how long that would take if you didn't have that information? You'd probably be building another funnel and, or another, whatever it might be.